Alright, Marine Corps Community Policy Manual, Chapter 9, Marine Corps Communities for the Program Support, Section 7, Non-Appropriate Funding Procurement, 9700, Purpose, Scope, and Issue, Military Marine Corps Communities for the Non-Appropriate Procurement, 9701, Scope of the Procurement include the purchasing, rental, lease of the real property for the construction, including third-party finance project, the renovation, alteration, real property obtained with the goods and services for the either direct with the non-appropriate funding interested instruments for resale of the authorized patrons. Procurement and does not include the determination requirements for the identification of the goods and for the property, include quality, performance, standard with the quantity, with the delivery schedule, with the certification of available funds. 9702 Policy. All Mccs non-appropriate funding procurement shall be accomplished according with the regulation MCOP 7D1020 reference Y. Approved forms personnel who have been significantly delegated authority to execute procurement actions which commit MCCS non-appropriate defining, refer to MCS OP 7010-20, reference wide additional specific policy, procedure, role, responsible governing of the procurement of goods over the resale of the military, Marine Corps, and the procurement of non-appropriate funding, instruments appropriate with the appropriate funding procurement policy, and federal acquisition regulations, AX. 9703, purchase with negotiation. MCCS non-appropriate funding procurement is accomplished by the negotiation, not seal binding. Negotiation allow the contracting officer flexibility to achieve fair, reasonable pricing, mutually agreed upon contract terms. The competitive negotiation method of procurement involves soliciting proposal, receiving proposal, the data established for the receipt, proposal, conducting decision, classification, forwarding each of the offer the opportunity to submit the best final offer. If warranted, contractor offers may be deemed based on the evaluation initial proposal of the receipt of the further negotiation. If today with a request for proposal for the appropriate case, signal and sole source negotiation may be conducted. 9704 Delegation of Procurement Authority, Deputy Commander of the established MCCS non-appropriate funding procurement policy procedure training with the requirement of delegated non-appropriate funding procurement authority delegated position appointment or warrant. Marine Corps Exchange retail buyers delegated to procurement authority by position title. Such buyers, associate buyers obligated to MCS to the extent that funds approved that are not available to retail open buy budget. Purchase card holders delegated procurement authority letter of agreement. The card holders may get obligate MCCS single and monthly purchase with limited designated with letter of appointment. To the extent funds have been approved as made available to requiring activities of the contracting officer and the purchasing agreement agents or delegated procurement authority of warrants of instrument. By such individuals granted authority to enter MCCS legally binding contracting officer of the purchase agents shall obligate MCCS limited to specified in their warrant the extent funds have been approved made available by the requiring activity non-appropriate funding procurement personnel may be obligated with appropriate funds unless separately authorized under separated appropriate funded acquisition regulation. 9705 Separation of functions. Integrity procurement process requires several distinction funds performed subsequently by different personnel. They are the preparation, purchase request, clarification, funding, availability, approval of the procurement action, if required based on dollar volume of the action. Procurement action, receipt of goods, services, payment. 2 small activities may not be able to assign separate personnel for each of the function. However, these do to be separated to maximum extent practicable to preserve checks and balances necessary to preclude fraud, waste, and abuse, and with the event the same individual will perform all above functions. A limited exemption and separation function requirement granted to the individuals making purchase the purchase cards, the individuals entering requisition and orders, the electronic purchasing system. Procurement personnel will not engage receiving or involvement invoice payment of function report personnel responsible for those functions. 9706 and procurement function. Procurement function include advance procurement planning, processing of the purchase request, soliciting proposal, awarding, administrative of the contract closeout, contracting off with the purchasing agent, making sure the specification does not unduly restrict competition to determine the method of procurement, single or multiple source oil written, either selected source to developing source list of the eligible firms competitive solicitation. Contractor officer will assure the proper issue of the solicitation, receive of the safeguard proposal, evaluate proposal with the determined responsiveness of parole, the responsibility proposed contractor to negotiate with the respect of the contractor, select prospective of the contractor, secure the necessary approval to make awards, administer contracts. Contracting officer, purchasing agent does not necessarily have to perform all functions described. However, the final evaluation of the proposal, execution of the contract, modification, all final determination, including selection of a successful offer contractor, must be performed by a warranted contracting officer or purchasing agent. 9707, the responsible of requesting activity, determining requirements of the responsible of requesting activity or its function, not in function of the procurement personnel requesting activity will clearly describe the types of supply Purchase of the most adequately meets of the need for the purchase, require the specification, purchase of the description statements of the work will be precise as possible without unduly restricting competition. Specifications are required. Assistance may be obtained by procurement office 2. Requesting activity will be forward with requirements. Procurement office of the purchase record the purchase request will describe the supply of service required, identify recommended source of the indicate the amount of budgeted for the procurement with the requesting activity cost center with the active outnumber of the purchases account will be charged to the most certified of the funds available with that required approval that have been obtained with the receipt of the accurate with the complete purchase record the procurement officer to begin with the procurement process. 9708, multiple source solicitation, usual mode of the procurement and world written multiple source solicitation, reasonable number of eligible scope to obtain adequate competition for the purchase sale of the MCCS best advantage, determine a reasonable number of source of the contracting officer, purchase agent designation, decision based on the dollar amount of the purchase competitiveness of the market with the number of interested offer the request for the price quotation request for the proposal the issue of the minimum of the resource for the requirement equipment and supply service of $5,000 or less may be solicited from only one offer. The award made to the offerer if the price are fair and reasonable. The type of the purchaser should be rotated among competitive sources and left clear advantages available from one source competitive. The negotiation should be used for the purchasing MCS non-appropriated funding requirements over $5,000 unless the exemption single source negotiations authorized MCO P701020 reference Y. 9709, system-wide requirement of the deputy commander that has the procurement authority with the system-wide requirement to include but not limited to the banking, auditing, service, insurance, health benefits program, statewide information technology, hardware, software requirements of appropriate DC with the negotiate regional MCCS contract installation, MCS, CCS, non-appropriate funding instrument participating in the regional or system-wide contracts is mandatory. 9710, contract administration. Contract administration, the management of the contract time and award of the expiration term and the final of the retirement contract of the allow proof of the contract administration to ensure the contractor perform according to the contract terms and conditions. The MCCS receive the quantity and quality of the goods and service for which the contract administration includes modification, contract price of the terms, renewal actions. 9711, the contract officer the representative to aid with the contract administrator, the function special for the contract performance, removal with the contractor officer, location program expertise is required. Contracting officer may be appointed with the contracting officer representative. Contracting officer representing the liaison between the contractor officer, and technical matters relating to the contractor representative authority limited to the which for the delegated with the contracting officer. 9712, the non-appropriate funding purchase card, MCCS activity participate with the centralized purchase of the card for the other purchase credit card may be due with the purchase tool without prior approval of the deputy commander of the non-appropriate funding purchase card would provide limited to the procurement authority to assign a personnel through the MCCS activities thus allowing requirements to purchase quickly and usually at the point of sale. Even the purchase card streamlines the accounts payable. The process has the potential to earn rebates from MCCS program, the deputy commander administrator of the purchase card program, the MCS non-appropriated funding instruments. 9713, legal support, Council of the Commandment, CMC. It's a field off with the reasonable the providing legal advice service to the area of the business, commercial law with the Marine Corps. Legal issue for the non-appropriated fund for the business procurement, the contracting matter for the job to refer for the regional MCCS council, for the regional MCS council available. Inquiries should be made with the deputy commander. 9714, standing for the contact ethic training, financial disclosure for the way with the contracting with the purchasing position, require for the annual with the ethics training, the final annual confidential final. Show the disclosure reports with the designated the ethical counselor. Purchase of the following is to prevent possible conflict of interest. Purchasing card holder purchasing $100,000 or less annually are not required to complete ethics training or file. Individual supervisor may require additional personnel to have annual ethics and complete with the OGE Form 450. Supervisor judgment and the individual position and influence for the integrity of the procurement, profit, the conflicts of interest, selection, contractors, and award. Contract shall free of the conflict interest, and when the conflict interest exists when the person selecting the item purchase, selected by the contractor, placing an order of the award of the contract, financial interest, business firming, and receiving an order for the contract position of the benefits because of the family interest. MCS personnel required to disqualify themselves of the contract or transaction individual involving actual potential conflict interest for the gift and personal purchase for the MCS personnel involved with the procurement of the related function will not accept the solicited gift to offer for the contractor for the MCCS personnel will not use the position influence the arrangement of the preferential treatment of the direct purchase of the MCCS supply with the items for their personal use of the families Other MCCSM employees, the MCS personnel will report with the name and address, circumstances for any of the request, personal, provincial, treatment of the designated with the athletic counselor. 97 and 15 with the reporting violations, name of the conduct relating to procurement with the knowing and will failure of the MCS personnel to report criminal conduct with the name of the conduct violation. MCCS supervisor make grounds for disciplinary action. Contracting officer will obtain with the guidance of the MCS council the appropriate action. Procurement action is effective with 97 and 16. Release advanced procurement information. MCCS will not provide with the potential contract advance information concerning the proposed procurement, and such information will only be released by contracting officer along with the scope of the authority. 97-17 ineligibles for the MCS required will not be purchased from firms or individuals who are on the GSA publication list of parties exclusive of the federal procurement and non-procurement programs or similar list for the offshore supplier with purchase the installation commanders or active duty military person, civilian employee with the government unless contract offer that determine the no potential for their apparent with a conflict to enter the contracting officer for the coordinator with the MCCS council prior to the award. MCSS will not award contracts to the MCCS military personnel to perform same work under contract as they perform MCS in their MCS or military position. From military personnel to civilian employees that are prohibited from conducting non-competitive procurement with the MCCS, the policy does not prevent them from holding a position responsible for the company and sale of the MCCS, but cannot personally participate in the non-competitive sale of the MCCS. Restriction does not apply with the formerly enlisted personnel. Question concerning post-employment or restriction business transaction. Former MCS employees should refer to MCS council. Alright, Chapter 9, and Marine Corps Community Support Program Support, Section 8, Security.